So now that we've talked about translations, which is just taking a shape and moving it left, right, up, or down, now we're going to talk about reflections, which is where we take a shape and we flip it. So up here we said that a reflection carries an image across a line. To draw a reflection, we are going to draw in or sketch in the line we are reflecting over. Sometimes it's already drawn for you, but if it isn't, we need to draw it in. Using Desmos if you need to. If it's something funky, use Desmos. Then we're going to count how far away each point is from the line and draw the image that far on the other side. So just as some quick little examples, if A is 3 above the line, we are going to put A prime, or the image of A, 3 below the line, right? Whatever the opposite is. So if A is 3 to the left of the line, we are going to put A prime 3 to the right. Just wherever the other side is, right? That could be up, that could be down, anything like that. When writing this in math notation, we usually write it as R and then whatever the line is. So you might see R x equals 2 or R y equals x, something like that. So this first one says reflect ABC across the y-axis. So we're going to start by, I like to draw in where the y-axis is at. Y-axis is this guy straight up and down. And then I'm just going to count how far each of these points is from the line. And I'm going to count straight to the line. Don't go diagonal or sideways or anything like that. Straight towards wherever the line is. So if I look at point A, it is 1 on the left side of the line. So A prime will be 1 to the right. If I look at B, it is 1, 2, 3 on the left side. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 on the right side. If I look at C, it is 1 to the left, so C prime will be 1 to the right. And if you'll remember, we need to connect these up so that it makes a triangle. And you'll see that these are perfect mirror images of each other. So the next one is similar. Reflect DEF across the x-axis. So I'm going to draw in the x-axis, which is this sideways one here. D, I notice, is 1, 2 above the line, so 1, 2 below. And notice that here I'm counting straight to the line because the line is sideways, so I'm going straight to it. Here, when the line was up and down, I need to count straight towards the line sideways. All right, E is 1 above, so E prime will be 1 below. If I look at F, F actually is on the line. So it is 0 above the line. So if I put that 0 below the line, it's in the same place. Reflections do not change points that are on the line itself. So here's my D prime, my E prime, and my F prime. Connect them up, and I get my triangle that looks like a mirror image of the one above it. Okay. Here are some things that you might need Desmos for. Reflect ABC in the line x equals -1. So if I look at this, if I didn't know where x equals -1 is, I might type that into Desmos and see where it goes. Is it a vertical line? Is it a diagonal line? Is it horizontal? In this case, it is a vertical line through -1. So I'm going to do the same process. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the line. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be A prime. B is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for B prime. C is 1 away. So if I go 1 away, that would be here. And connect them all into a point. The next one says reflect EFG in the line y equals 4. Again, if you did not know where y equals 4 was, use Desmos. Type it into Desmos, figure out what kind of line it is, what points it goes through so that you can recreate it on your graph. In this case, y equals 4 is a horizontal line going through 4. You'll notice it cuts this shape in half, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. The process is still the same. Let's take E. I notice that E is 1 above the line, so E prime will be 1 below the line. F is also one above the line, so F prime will be one below the line. G is one below the line, so the opposite would be one above the line. And then connect these up. It doesn't matter if you cut the shape into pieces or not, the process is still the same. Count how far each individual dot is from the line and flip the side. All right. If I look on the back, these are also reflections, but notice that they drew in the line for you. Sometimes the air test will do that, and it will ask you to just plot points. So this line is a little bit funny. I can't count straight up or down because neither of those directions go directly towards the line. So anytime a line is diagonal like this, we're going to have to count diagonally towards it. Same process though. So if I look at C, I'm going to count diagonally towards the line. It's one full box and then a half a box. Now the nice thing about whenever we do this half a box is the other half of the box is right there. So 1 and a half, I can go a half and then 1. C prime will be right here. If I look at A, it's a half a box away, so another half a box will be here. If I look at B, it's one full box and a half a box, so I can go a half a box and then a full box for B. And notice that we still get our mirror image out of this, right? It should look like you just took a mirror down, and that if you folded this on that line, you would get the same picture back. For the next guy, it's again a diagonal line, right? Notice that it just goes the other way. So here, how we had to count this way to go towards the line, in this one, we're going to have to count this way to go towards the line. You're always going directly towards the line wherever it's at. So F, I notice, is one full box away. So one full box away would be F prime. G is 1, 2 full boxes away. So 1, 2 full boxes away there. Try these next two on your own. Go ahead and pause the video. Try and figure out where they would be. I'm just going to draw them in without talking. I hope your pictures matched mine. All right. Reflect each of the following shapes across the line y equals negative x. This one would be an excellent one to use Desmos for. And just be careful when you're tracing it in. Y equals negative x, if you type it into Desmos, seriously, type it into Desmos, is this diagonal line, and draw it very, very carefully, right? The slope is -1, as in it goes through each of these boxes perfectly diagonally. Now that's important. If you just draw a random line and you're not very careful, so for example, if you just draw something like this because you know it's diagonal, it's going to be really hard to reflect over because you won't have been precise. So making that show up, or your counting, is going to be very, very hard. It really will help to actually do this appropriately. You might even type this line into Desmos and plot these points and count it on your computer screen if you're having a hard time drawing a straight line yourself. So A is 1.5 away. D is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 away. So there's my half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you'll notice if you start with a rectangle, you should still end with a rectangle. If you start with a triangle, you should still end with a triangle. you start with a circle. You should still end with a circle, right? Make sure that your line is correct. All right, this next one, we are also reflecting across y equals negative x. Remember, be careful about how you draw your line. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Or type these into Desmos and plot your points and count it on your computer screen. It will help if you're having trouble drawing straight lines. A is 1, 2 away, so 1, 2 away for A prime. B is right on it. It is 0 away, so B prime will also be 0 away. Anything on the line does not move. C is 1, 2 away, so 1, 2 away would be C prime. D is 1, 2, 3, 4 away, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And connect them back up into your square.